Folks, welcome back to the Big 40, our 40th episode anniversary. This is the Trivia and Tribulations episode, and we're gonna start off with some trivia. Not
And in
really.
honor and in honor of the 40th episode here, Connor Powers gave himself the night off, folks. He will not be with us tonight. Do not expect to hear his glistening voice this evening. You just get to deal with me and Chad. So happy 40. It's going to be me and Chad. We're going to be doing it together. Hit me with some
Chad and I.
trivia.
Chad and I.
You are pursuing a master's. I did not, so I do not know that grammar. Appreciate the help.
Okay, but it's trivia not like you think. We're bringing back a segment, and it's just John today. He's going to be guessing some lines for this upcoming week in football. So
And Chad has immediately hit me with a do-si-do. Chad's do-si-do of the night completely catches me off guard. I'm excited. I'm just guessing against myself?
Yeah. We're going to see how you do.
You know
We'll
what?
see.
I'm going to throw a wrench in at you. You know what you did? You threw the boomerang at me. I'm throwing it right back, Chad. So if I am within 3 points of the line, I get a point. If I'm not, you're the house. You get the point.
All right.
I got to be within 3. Give or take 3.
Little
Give or take a
blackjack.
field goal. Give
I
or
like
take a
that.
field goal.
I like that. So we're going to start it off easy. This is a nice, easy one to get you going. It is
How many are we doing total?
We're
Let's set
going
the
to
scene.
let's do 10.
Off the rip. Let's do it.
Appalachian State.
You know what?
What?
I'm going to amend that. You see this back and forth we're doing? Folks, this is how you work together.
Yeah.
This is a collaborative environment. I think we go in odd numbers, so there's no tie. I hate ties.
True.
Something about the number 9 right now.
Eichel.
Something about the number 9. Little Eichel action. Sabres are nice. Throw that in there. So we're playing. This is Jack Eichel's trivia roundtable. Best of 9. You got
Best
the floor.
man win. Here we go. Appalachian State on the road at 6-0 against South Alabama, who is 1-6.
Say the visitor again.
Appalachian State ranked 21st in the country,
They're
6-0.
nice. I wasn't paying attention. That's why I asked that again. App State is very good. They're legit. I'm saying that they are favored here by 24.
Appalachian State is favored by 24.5.
Clemens comes out firing, piping hot. I mean, piping hot, Chad.
This could be a rout. It could be over early today, folks.
Could be a rout.
Okay, impressive start by Clemens. My God, he's on top.
I think you're going to have to bet on anything that I win in this competition.
I think so. Next up, we have the Alabama Crimson Tide at home at 7-0, number one in the country. Not with Tua this week. They are playing against Arkansas, who is 2-5.
Alabama's a bad team. Arkansas is a bad team. Alabama's the opposite of bad team. Bama, you said 2 is not playing?
Correct.
Alabama is still going to be heavily favored. Give me 31.
Alabama by 32.
Clemens is on absolute fire, folks. I will say this too. I did not look at spread today because had such a poor weekend. I had no interest in looking at anything. Not even touching the Monday Night Football game here. I want you to know this is off the rip. This is brain. Brain to table. Farm to table.
The greatest thing possibly that we've ever witnessed. I think it's because Connor's not here. Maybe we should cut him from the whole program.
I mean, we'll have to have a production meeting after this one.
Okay.
But anyway, 2-0 start for Clemens.
All right. Let's see here. Ooh, we got a good one. We have Houston at home at 3-4 against Southern Methodist University, 16th in the country. They are 7-0. Houston home against SMU.
I think this is going to be a little bit smaller than one would suspect based on records. I'm going SMU by 7.5.
It is SMU by 13.5. So Messier
and Chad
is on the board.
The house gets one back.
It's a good start. All right, we're going to go to top 10 matchup of the week. We have LSU at home at 7-0 against Auburn, who is 6-1.
This is a good matchup. I think LSU is going to kill them. However, I'm going to say the line is 13.
Clemens was close. It was LSU by 11.5.
And that is just within 3. He gets one there. I think that's going to move towards 13, though, as the week goes on.
Yes.
3-1. 3-1.
3-1. All right. This is a big one. This is a team that's really just effed up me and Connor throughout the year. Connor and I should say. Team I will never bet on. But it is Minnesota, the Golden Gophers, at home at 7-0 against Maryland at 3-4.
You're saying Maryland's a team that's fucked you guys all year, right?
Yeah, correct.
So I'm going to say Minnesota by 16.5.
Minnesota by 16.
Unfreaking believable performance so far, Chad. You're shook. You're visibly uncomfortable right now.
This is a visceral betrayal of everything I've ever come to love. So it's tough. All right, I think I can get Powers. I think I can get Clemens on this one. It is UCLA at 2-5. They are home against Arizona State, who is 5-2 and ranked 24th in the country.
What you did there before saying the matchup was you played a small little mind game by saying you can get me on this one. Now you had me thinking a couple of ways.
Yeah.
Now you had me thinking a couple of ways.
Walk the listeners through what you're thinking.
I'm thinking because you said that, this line is going to be shorter than what you'd think. You know I hate UCLA. Can't stand them. But you also know I don't care for Arizona State, who also didn't cover against Utah, by the way. Called that last episode. Utah's nice. Give me Arizona State, the Fighting Herm Edwards by 14.
It is Arizona State by 4.
You really played a mind game with me there, and that is a very weird line. That is so much shorter. I would have, initially, off the rip, if you said nothing, I probably would have said 20. That's how bad UCLA is. 4 is unbelievable.
Yeah.
That's a very interesting line.
All right, let's see if we can. It is now 4-2. Let's see. I'm going to stick in the Pac-12, see if I can really get you all sorts of rattled right now.
These are the ones that always ding me, dude. These are the tough ones. I'll give you that.
We have the Utah Fighting Utes at home at 6-1, ranked 12th in the country, against the Cal Bears, who are 4-3.
So here's my thoughts. Utah, I think, is the best team in the conference. And Cal was the greatest pretender for the first quarter of the season. They have been heavy underdogs in a lot of these games against the elites of the Pac-12, or I should say the top teams. I'm saying Utah, they're at home, you said?
Yes.
By 3 touchdowns, 21.
And Clemens wins the week. It is Utah minus 19.
Let's go, baby. Cal sucks, dude. Utah's going to cover this one again, I think. Wow. I just want to say thank you for that challenge. That was fun. I really enjoyed it a lot. I think that's going to be back. That's not the end of it.
Yeah, that won't be gone. That will be definitely back.
Shout out to Powers for being absent this evening and making that possible.
Yeah. You don't ever have to come back, but we'll see. We'll talk about it. So a couple games we should review from last week. I'm correct in saying you don't want to talk about the Cox, correct?
I do.
You do? Okay.
I do.
All right.
Here's what I think. First of all, there are very few coaches out there who are just more appealing to the working man and also the players. Will Muschamp is a people's coach. He's not by any means a top tier coach. No shot. No one's saying that. But dude, he can rally the players. Did you see his press conference?
I did not know.
And anyone who watched the game, a lot of Cox fans listen to this. That was probably the worst officiating I've seen in my time watching South Carolina football. The SEC's been terrible officiating this year. Israel Mukuamu got held 50 yards down the field on their long touchdown run after we had just scored, the play after we scored. Held for 50 yards, literally grabbing the defenders, grabbing him by the horse collar the whole time, the whole way. Clear as day, 2 referees there, the camera's literally on it. It's getting ridiculed on Twitter by everyone. Chipper Jones tweeted at him, said that was a terrible call. He's a Gators fan. Brutal. That changed the game. Momentum gone. Fourth quarter, completely outcoached, completely outplayed. Nightmare. But you look at it. 7 quarters, last 2 games. 7 out of 8 quarters, We outplayed the two top 10 teams in the country. I'm not mad. I was pretty
Okay.
mad at the time. It's pretty frustrating. It is what it is, though. I think we got a good little team. It's pretty much a lost year at this point, but I think we get to that. All I care about now is getting over 6 wins for that bet that I made. Me and Connor hanging on life support now again.
So SEC officiating, I want to hit on again. So I saw there were issues with the Alabama-Tennessee game as well with the officiating. Sound like Tennessee got screwed a little bit. Is there a bias towards some of these top teams in the SEC by SEC officiating? It's under my understanding that the SEC office, officiating office or whatever, is located in Alabama. So there could be some bias there.
I think that's absolutely fair to say.
Okay. And I'm not here to say Tennessee would have won the game if the officiating had been different, but something to keep an eye on because
I'm here to say that South Carolina legitimately had a very strong chance of winning that game if the officiating on that specific run where he was held for 50 yards was not. If that was called, it's a completely different game. That gave them the entire momentum. Like, ridiculous.
It is.
I'm getting mad again. I'm getting really bothered, Chad. Fire me up. You got to change the topic before I start throwing things across the room.
All right, we're going to change it up. We're going to go Penn State held on at home against Michigan, winning 28-21. To start, honestly, not overly impressed with either team. I know it's, a big win for Penn State, but at the same time, I did not come away any more impressed with Penn State. They are what they are. I think they're a team that's probably a top 7 to 12 team in the country. I don't think they have a definite ceiling from what I've seen. And I watch Penn State about every week. I just don't think their offense is impressive to me. Scoring 28 points at home for the whiteout left a little to be desired. Their defense was really good in the first half and really bad in the second half. So I'm still not sure what Penn State is, but Michigan, that officially eliminates them from anything. What did you think of that game, John? John, you are muted. Nothing is happening.
And that, folks, is what you call a user error on my end. So back to what I was saying while I was talking to the screen here. I wasn't watching this game. I believe at the same time the Yankees were playing the Astros.
Yes.
So I was watching that game. I didn't watch a lick, didn't watch a snap of the Penn State-Michigan game. Actually, haven't even watched a highlight. I woke up next morning. It was like middle afternoon. And I checked my phone. I saw, oh, Penn State won by a touchdown. So I got no thoughts. I'm in the same boat, though. I don't think I've watched a snap of a Penn State game this year. I have no idea who they are. I know they're undefeated. Michigan, just really a decent team. They're just floating a decent team.
Yeah. They're like
nothing impressive about them.
It's a good comparison.
You see them and you're disinterested in the fact that they're playing that day. You don't care. It doesn't matter.
Yes. Yeah.
Unless you're tied to them, whatever. They're boring. They're really boring. They're a boring team. Just like in Big Ten basketball, dude. They're a boring team.
Yes, no doubt. Only other really notable game that I wanted to hit on was Texas survived against Kansas 50-48. That's not a good look for Texas, and I think if anything that hurts, Oklahoma's resume a little bit. Any thoughts on that game, John?
Kansas is I have no idea what this Kansas team is. They're a hot mess. They're an exciting hot mess. They gave Texas a run. They beat Boston College by 47,000 points. They lost to Coastal Carolina. It's really, I don't know. Texas, I'm kind of off Texas at this point. I don't think that they're nearly as good as I expected them to be this year, so can't say I'm surprised, really.
All right.
I feel like they got a type of team that's just like if they're doing well, everyone's bought in, but a couple of hardships go their way and they're kind of checked out. That's what I feel like they are.
Reminds me a lot of USC, to be honest. But let's move on.
There was one more.
There was.
One more. Two more quick shout-outs. One, shout out to my dad. Huge win for Vanderbilt this week. upsetting Missouri.
Yes.
They were
Yes.
21-point dogs. They won by a touchdown against number 22 Missouri. South Carolina got blown out by Missouri earlier this year. Is Vanderbilt better than South Carolina?
I
We'll
think
find out
so.
in 2 weeks. Going to the game with my dad. Got announced as a 7:30 game, whereas Bama LSU is at 3:30. Makes absolutely no sense. Pisses me off, but whatever. Next one, Georgia. A little bit worried here about Georgia and how
Yeah.
good they might be. They scored 0 points in the first half against Kentucky. Kentucky isn't a very good team. I did say last week Georgia minus 24 is my pick of the week. They won 21-0. They did blank them. I did tell people, I said, I don't think Kentucky scores this game. I said to
You
Drew Deal,
did.
I said, I don't think Kentucky is going to score. I got that right. I did not realize that their offense might actually be an issue going forward here. So, very unimpressive win offensively, without a
John,
doubt.
that kind of sparked something. I do remember my lock of the week last week. So let's just say you and I were 0 for 2. I had Texas minus 21 against
Yes, you
Kansas.
did.
That
And we
was,
touched on it.
yes.
So,
So speaking of
moving on.
Georgia, I want to play a little hypothetical game with you here. All right. I'm going to list out two teams at a time and hypothetical. They play neutral field this coming
Yeah.
weekend. Who do you think wins? All right.
Yeah.
So first one we're going to start out with Florida versus Penn State. Neutral field, who wins?
Ooh. Um, I'm going to go with Florida here.
Okay.
I'm going to go with Florida. Some people will say that's an SEC bias that I have going on there, but it's not. They're more battle tested. Penn State hasn't played shit this year. Uh, no one whatsoever. They beat Iowa, who I think stinks, and they beat Michigan, who I think also stinks. Aside from that, I don't know if anyone they played has a winning record. They might, but I just looked at their schedule. I was unimpressed by everything. Florida's
Okay.
battle tested. Um, I just don't see them losing that game. I think they're more athletic than Penn State. And I think that Dan Mullen is a better coach than James Franklin. So
I agree. I think Florida would win that game. Penn State has a good defense, but I think Florida has a freaky good defense, and I think Penn State would not know what to do facing that Florida defense. I think it would be a grind them out kind of 17-13 type game. Next hypothetical, and this will be taking place in, I believe, 2 weeks. Florida, Georgia, neutral site, which we will have in Gainesville, or not Gainesville, in where do they play?
Jacksonville.
Jacksonville. Who wins? Florida, Georgia.
This is a question that I'll have a little bit more clarity on after like the next week. You said this is in 2 weeks?
Correct.
This is the same weekend as Alabama LSU. That's going to be a good weekend. I'm excited for that.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, I'm probably still going to go with Georgia right now. But if they have another bad offensive performance this week, I might be off them. I might switch. I might change my mind.
Georgia has a bye this week.
They have a bye this week.
Yes.
I like that. Now I definitely like them.
Really?
Russ, you got to look in the mirror after 2 disappointing performances, and you got time to prepare for Florida. I like that.
Interesting.
Florida could be on a bye as well. They could be on a bye as well. I'm not fact checking.
Florida is, I believe they don't have a game. Florida is off.
Florida is off, so that's going to be a good game.
I'm going to be honest, I'm kind of leaning Florida. I just, that Kentucky game rubbed me the wrong way again for Georgia. That offense, I don't know if it has to do with the play calling, the quarterback play, what it is, but their offense is down just a mess at the moment, and I kind of like Florida there.
I think it's the most adversity Georgia's faced in the last 3 years or so, would you say, right now?
Yeah.
Just kind of a real heat check, gut check type of a moment. We'll see how they respond.
All right, so last hypothetical I want to do with you. This is another one, interesting one. This neutral field game, who wins, Oklahoma or Clemson?
That is a really good one. Oklahoma. Very, very unimpressed with Clemson so far. I know they ended up blowing Louisville out this week, but they looked like dog shit for the first half. Trevor Lawrence, I think, had 2 picks in the first quarter. I haven't been impressed. Across the board, I haven't been impressed. Yeah. Talk about playing nobody. The ACC, I'm pretty sure they're the only ranked team. No one looks like, honestly, is there anyone in like the top 3 tiers of teams? Top 4 tiers of teams aside from Clemson?
There's a chance Pitt might be ranked this week. Don't quote me on that. The only chance they have is Pitt and Wake Forest, and it does not look like either of them are ranked.
I mean, I'm genuinely believe like we are probably the best team that they play that's left. We're 3-4.
Wake
We
Forest
play
is
them
now
final week
ranked
of the
25th in the country.
Huh.
But I agree with you. Completely agree.
So
Um,
give me Oklahoma. They look unstoppable offensively. That's all I got there.
yeah, I agree, Oklahoma. So let's get into a look ahead to this coming week. We'll talk about 4 games, make it quick. No need to, uh hang out on this too long because there's not a ton of good games again this weekend. But let's start out with are we gonna go in chronological time order?
Absolutely. Let's talk about your boys.
All right, so at noon on Saturday on Fox, we have Ohio State at home against Wisconsin. Ohio State is favored by 14, and the over-under is set at 50.
Yeah. So I think it's a spot where a lot of people really are going to be all over Ohio State. Wisconsin coming off a loss to a really fucking bad Illinois team, really bad loss.
Really bad.
That
Yeah.
is now the worst loss of the year, by the way, or I should say the biggest upset of the year. I think that's a bigger upset than Carolina over Georgia.
I would
But
agree.
and I think it's 100%. So now I'm mad at myself. So I bet on Ohio State because they had a look ahead game Friday. I took Northwestern covered. Not even close. Northwestern stinks. I should have taken Wisconsin for the same reason. Wisconsin lost. They've been thinking about Ohio State for 2 weeks. I don't think they're going to lose by 14 here. I don't think they're going to win, though. Ohio State wins this game, but it's closer than 2 touchdowns.
Okay. Um, the line is sketchy. I'm gonna need a few drinks in me before I place any bets on this one. I could see this game anywhere in the 13 to 17 point range. That could change depending on the kind of the state of mind I'm in Saturday around
Right.
noon. I plan on having one of those, because people in my program don't believe in drinking before like 2 p.m. So like it'll just be young Chad in his apartment getting extremely intoxicated by myself around 8, 9 a.m.
Hey,
And
Chad, you want to make the trip down this weekend? A little drive?
the potentially you're gonna need company. You're gonna be an emotional guy this weekend after losing your
Yep.
roommate.
Yep. Very true.
For the folks at home that don't know, John is a Lone Ranger again. His wonderful, beautiful roommate Abby has accepted a position in New York City, so she leaves the end of this week. So John will be on his own. I'm worried about you.
There
I'm
are
gonna
people
say it.
really, really very worried. You're not alone.
We may have to put together a GoFundMe page to find you maybe a new roommate, a new hobby, something to keep you busy, to keep your mind off the breakup.
If we put together a GoFundMe page and people contribute the rent split amount each month, I would be happy to live alone. If people want to do that, you can organize it. I'm not gonna say no if you twist my arm.
Okay. All right. We'll look at getting that set up.
Yeah.
Maybe Connor
Anyway,
can get some donations from Action Sports. But yeah.
let's
Um,
talk a little. Let's talk a little SEC football now. So you're on Ohio State. You're unsure of how much. I'm on
yeah.
Wisconsin to cover, Ohio State to win. Auburn LSU. This is going to be a good one.
I
I
think it's a
think.
bloodbath.
I think. I kind of alluded to that earlier. I think that LSU is going to crush Auburn. um, Although I think it's going to be in a lower scoring than what we've seen out of LSU. I'm saying like 35-7 type of a game here.
I had 31-10. So we're right on the same page. Another game, comment if you please. I'm kind of getting really frustrated with this college football scheduling. Why in God's name is LSU versus Auburn in the 3:30 slot and not like a 7:30 start? And why in God's name is Ohio State Wisconsin at noon and not at that same time
Yeah, that's
slot?
absolutely miserable. That's like next week when we got Vandy, South Carolina at 7:30 in the prime time. You got LSU, Bama at 3:30. God knows when Georgia, Florida is. I think that's a noon game.
No, Georgia Florida is 3:30.
You got the two biggest games of the week both at 3:30.
Wait, LSU, that game is not next week. It
You
looks
sure?
like 2 weeks. 2 weeks. No, 3 weeks. Week
Okay.
11. Yeah,
Okay.
so week 11's, yeah, Bama, LSU. There are at least 4 ranked matchups that week. So,
But yeah, UGA Florida is 3:30. It's ridiculous. Anyway, back to this week.
yeah, but still the scheduling, yeah. I
Oh,
don't
it's
know
miserable.
how LSU Auburn is not a 7:30 game.
It's
But
miserable.
yeah, I like that 31-10. I'm probably going to go with the under there. Um Anything else on that game or no?
No.
All right. We have Michigan State at home against Penn State. Penn State favored by 6.5. I kind of like Penn State minus 6.5 there. I see them winning by like at least a touchdown. Over unders 43. Probably not going to sniff that. Any thoughts there?
This is what you call, and it's so clear and obvious. This is an upset alert game. Michigan State covers this spread. It's going to be tight. This is a wet your pants a little bit, a little pants wetter game for Penn State fans. They might lose. Michigan State might win this one. I
Oh,
wouldn't be surprised, but all I'm going to say is that they're going to cover a touchdown.
okay. Okay. And then the nightcap is another kind of just who cares game. Michigan at home against Notre Dame. Is this a game that Michigan wins?
This is a nightmare matchup for me in terms of level of excitement. I have no interest in watching either team. Uh, I think Michigan loses though.
You
I don't
do.
know why. I don't love it by any means, but my buddy Tommy, he's a good guy. He's a Notre Dame fan. I'll side with him here. We're gonna say the Fighting Irish win. I couldn't have less interest though in watching a ranked matchup between these. Like,
I understand. So it's time for our locks of the week.
yes,
I have mine, and this one is audacious, bold, daring, possibly stupid, but it's something I believe in wholeheartedly, and I'm excited to share it with the folks at home. And that is my lock: Liberty minus 7.5 against Rutgers.
wow.
Liberty is 5-2. They're on the road at 1-6 Rutgers. Lock it in. Liberty minus 7.5.
You're telling me that Rutgers is more than a touchdown underdog to Liberty at
Yes.
home?
Yes.
Is Liberty even D1? Is they even FBS? Are they FCS?
I That's a good question. I don't know. They've got to be FBS.
Oh my goodness, dude. That is heinous. I mean, wow. That's a good one. I like that. I'm glad you brought that one to the viewers' attention. How are they so bad year in and year out? It just doesn't make sense. It baffles me. Rutgers. They
It
baffle me. They're an
it
enigma.
doesn't make sense.
A Big Ten team consistently god awful. Anyway, my lock of the week, haven't put a whole lot of thought into it. I won't lie to you,
That's
but
okay.
and I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna say it.
All right.
I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say it to you. You ready for it?
Yes.
South Carolina beats Tennessee by 20. They're -4. They're the lock of the week. I love the hell out of that. After getting screwed, they're gonna be pissed off. Muschamp's track record in his career against Tennessee is actually bonkers. Consistently beats this team. They're gonna win this game by a lot. It's gonna
I
be
don't
exciting.
I don't hate that one. I do not hate it. Um, is there any other college football you want to get to before the break?
Not really. I will say one thing. Just shout out to my guys, Utah Utes. They play at 10 o'clock p.m.
Will you be awake for
That
that game?
Abby is scheduled to leave exactly 12 hours prior to the kickoff of this game. It's going to be an emotional moment for me, and I'm looking forward to watching a little Ute football out on the West Coast.
All
That's all I
right.
got.
Well, let's hand it off to AJ for a few seconds, and we'll be back after this.